What is good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and it is time for a match preview. Another one, early kickoff. Can we beat those Blues? Can we beat that voodoo? We will find out tomorrow. It is QPR versus Leeds United as we try, with 9 games to go, to secure a place to the Premier League. It's going to take results away from home, like against this QPR team, in order to do so. Before I get into today's preview, please like the video, subscribe, drop your comments below, and score predictions too, and any lineup changes that you would do for tomorrow's game, if you would do any. So let's just get straight into it. Daniel Farke's press conference was, there was nothing there. Okay, there was nothing there. There was no, let me just say this. There was a couple of things, but none of the questions that I think anybody really wanted answer was posed to Daniel Farke, whether that's via instruction by the club or maybe they've just been told don't ask about these things. But we got some questions that really didn't make any sense to me. So we didn't get anything about the early kickoffs, which is something that you would think would crop up, and we didn't get anything about rotation. The closest thing we got to it was Pope asking about if he listens to the emergency team, the doctors and everything else like that, the medical team, in regards to players' welfare and everything else like that, which Danny Farke, I mean, he just came out and said, I don't really listen to him. In a way, he was tongue in cheek, but he's basically saying, look, I know my players, and if I feel that they can play, when I've looked in their eyes, I can see if they can play. But there was really nothing addressed yesterday, it's disappointing, really, because we're so close to the finishing line. We really are, but there are still a few things that you not need to know, but you would just like to know, just to get Daniel Farke's point of view. But regardless of that, he asked about free agency. I mean, that I don't know about you people, but that didn't even come up in my thinking. If we had an injury or suspension anywhere, if we're going to sign a free agent, did not cross my mind one time, and Danny Farke just dismissed that one straight away. One other thing, speaking of early kickoffs, just for the people that aren't aware, we have another one, and it is Preston. 12th of April, that will now kick off at 12:30. So conspiracy theory, go nuts, go nuts. Just me personally, I don't see any conspiracy from the Football League in regards to this. I think it's purely business. I think it's just the case of when Leeds United are on TV, they get better viewing figures. Simple as that for me, in terms of that. And I just turn it around. If we didn't have such an appalling early kickoff record, I don't think anyone would really care, except for the people that go, obviously, and especially for away games. But I think because our record hasn't been so good, people are trying to look at it like, oh, the Football League are trying to keep us here. And I'm sure they would like to. But I would say if we had won 15 games on our early kickoffs, I think they'd still move them regardless. So here's another one. And plus, we're in a race for automatic promotion. So a lot of our games will be moved naturally as well. And we're just the biggest draw in the championship. It's as simple as that sometimes. But I understand if you feel there's a different angle. No problem. No problem. But yeah, going back to the press conference, there's no fresh injuries. We know that Joe Rothwell was playing with a jarred knee. So we're going to see if he's going to make the starting 11 tomorrow. But apart from that, people, there's nothing to worry about. Another good positive, I did confirm this on the match reaction, but Jayden Bogle is no longer at risk of a 2-game suspension now. So if he gets booked tomorrow, he's not going to miss the next 2 games after the international break. So no concerns there. Queen's Park Rangers, in the division, they've lost the last 4 in the league. Let me just scroll down to their position. Yep, they've lost the last 4 games in the league. But we know I talk about us being an anomaly. Well, QPR seems to be an anomaly for us. Okay, never mind it being an early kickoff. But at the best of times, 3 o'clock sometimes. But I do feel, especially with the result against Millwall, that we should be going in there with good spirits, and confidence again after the previous 2 games. So I'm hoping that we turn up. And listen, whether it is QPR or anyone below them, we have a problem. This is not a coincidence. It's a pattern. We have a problem starting away from home, especially on an early kickoff. So we didn't hear anything about it, but hopefully they're better prepared for tomorrow, so we can go fully focused and get, imagine what 3 points would do to the psyches of Burnley and Sheffield United. It would be absolutely huge to get a win away from home before the international break. And I do feel we can do that. Just going into lineups. Well, first of all, there was something that Farke did say in the press conference. He said that we may not name the team until tomorrow or maybe even Saturday morning. So here is what I think the lineup will be. The same team, the same team. Melier, Bogle, Roden, Strout Jr. To start, and I think Tanaka stays in. And I'm going to come back to Rothwell in just a second. Dan James, Brendan Aronson, Solomon, and Peru. I think it's going to be the exact same team. If you guys feel there's going to be any differences, please put them in the comments. The one thing that was funny, and I don't think he meant it in this way. I think it was just a question, but he looked kind of surprised when one of the journalists asked, "You use Rothwell at home, but Gruev away." It was almost like he went, "Oh, you noticed that, did you?" It's like, yeah, we noticed that. But what I will say with Joe Rothwell, because man, you guys were on me. But what I will say is that I saw the highlight video of him. He's been plastered all over the socials. It was a good engine midfield performance. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the final bit, and the final bit for me was kind of proved in the video, because apart from the one way he laid it off for Tanaka, who then hits it wide, uh, there was no through ball or pass forward or set piece that he took that made it into his highlight clip. And that's what I was talking about. I was talking about the final piece, because for me, when Rothwell plays, he's more of the creative spark in there. But with that being said, if he's going to give you that kind of engine-like midfield performance, then there's no reason for me that you take him out for Gruev, because Gruev is literally been in there for against the tougher teams. And when I look at the fixtures remaining, that maybe you put him in against Middlesbrough because they got a couple of dogs in there. You know what I mean? You might need that defensive stability from Gruev there. But if you're going with someone that can do the workman-like stuff and get you forward, then there's no reason to break up Tanaka and Rothwell unless Rothwell is hurt tomorrow. So I just want to clarify that when I say that Rothwell was poor in the week, it was his final ball. And listen, I can go back and give you examples. There was one where he could have just slipped it through to Jaden Bogle, who would have been through, and he just put it out for a goal kick. There was a few long passes that just went over Solomon's head. The set pieces were just woeful. That's the part I was talking about. And when I'm talking about Rothwell being in there, I'm thinking that he's going to be more of your creative player. So I don't look at him as the engine-like player. I know he can do that. But yeah, no problem. He got man of the match as well for that performance. Poor Solomon, man. Solomon, you were my guy. I'm just saying that. But I'm just saying there, keep them two together for this game. There's no reason to put Grove in there. This is QPR's team, by the way. They've got some hard heads in there, you know. Jack Colback, we know what he's about. Can't believe he's still around. You know, Steve Cook at the back and everything, Elias Chair, and that's probably where he may go with Gruev because of Chair. And I don't let me just say this. I say this every time we play QPR. I don't rate Chair like that. I don't think he's that good. But for this level, he's a decent enough hand. So he may go Grove. But for me, stick with the lineup that we had. The only thing that I would say, because he hasn't rotated people, is that this is 3 games for probably the same team, and that's another thing that I wish was brought up. It wouldn't have been brought up at the press conference in regards to, you know, you've had 3 games in 7 days coming up. Can you afford to keep the same team out there? So, but look, hopefully it doesn't hinder us, because some of the players did look a bit tired against Millwall. I just don't see him being rotated. But look, I'll be very surprised tomorrow. And look, I've got the match reaction link up already. If you want to join me after the game to discuss the game and the result, the link is in the description, and like the video as well. Score predictions, I'm going to go with a cool. I think it's going to be a nervy one. We may start slow. I've been doing this automatically recently. I'm going to go with 2-1 to Leeds. I'm going to go with 2-1. I feel we can get the 3 points and just, you know, have a nice result before the end of before the international break. Listen, big shout as well to Hao Tanaka as well. We know what his, you know, he is the engine in midfield in terms of his defensive work and being able to get forward. We've seen that in games, but we've definitely seen it since the calendar's flipped to 2025. And LUFC data here, you know, his first 21 games, no goals, but now he's got 4 goals in this calendar year already. I'm only halfway through March, and that's brilliant to see from Tanaka. Rothwell's another one, though. I did, because when we signed him, please go back to the Rothwell video. I said, first of all, he was going to be better than Kamara. Wasn't going to be too hard, but I thought he would have scored by now. But I think it's coming. You know, he's trying to shoot a little more Rothwell, but he needs to follow Tanaka's lead, because Tanaka, that was a lovely finish against Millwall. Gotta say, really good, well worked goal. But yeah, Tanaka, big up to him, and long may it continue, because he's going to be important for us this year and potentially next year. But listen, people, that is the preview. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, put your score predictions, lineup changes that you would do, and join me after the game tomorrow, and we'll discuss the result. Peace out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.